Hello, friends, and welcome. And Samus is here, already foolishly spending their money. Thank you for 6 months of sub, Samus. Yes, yeah, last week... yeah, I know, I did see it. I think it came through on the 7th, I want to say. Anyways, not important. But yes, sorry about last week. I really messed up my shoulder and was basically in constant pain. But it's all gone now, so that's good.
Suspicious.
And Mim has cheered 100 bits and has revealed one of the new things I was going to just announce. Yes, so a couple of things that have been added. First of all, there are new badges. There's not a suspicious command yet, unfortunately. But yes, there are new badges. If you are someone who is subscribed, in fact, I can probably type in chat now. You can see I now have Curry next to my name. Curry is the 6 months subscriber reward. And the others, I will pop in chat shortly, are... There we go. We have rice balls, we have an omelet with ketchup, we have shrimp tempura, we have ramen, and we have sushi. Which are the other badges, as well as those are bit emotes and second and third tier. I'm not encouraging anyone to give more money, but there were some people who had already given enough to unlock some of those, so I wanted them to feel like they had something. And yes, as Mim has just showed you, there is now a new bit alert.
Suspicious.
Courtesy of Deadbeard. It's also the same if you're doing a subscription, but not a renewing subscription, because I like the I'm Back as the renewing subscription.
Suspicious.
But there you go. Those are the new alerts, and you have found them all on your own, even before I could tell you anything. Also on top of that, there may or may not be random Wednesday evening streams, same time as the Steins Gate streams, for the rest of December. Basically, Thursday was my last day of work for the year, so I do have some extra time off, and if the mood catches me, I may post a notification that I will be doing a Wednesday stream. Those streams will not be for Uncle Killer or Steins Gate, because I want the people who have been invested in those to be able to continue to come out to see those. It'd probably be either a new game or just something random that I would like to do. But enough about updates and stuff like that. We have a game to play. And last time, potentially we could do Phasma with friends. That is an option. If you haven't tried Prison yet, I highly recommend it. But yes, last time on Steins Gate, which was 2 weeks ago, we had found out that Lukako's gender being changed apparently in some way affects us being able to get the IBN 5100. And the only way that she would agree to go back to being a dude is if we date her for 4 days. So we're asking Christina, who apparently has the best advice about going on dates, how to set up a date. And with that, we will continue.
不潔な格好は論外。特に髪はきちんと散髪すること。長髪は汚らしく見えるので NG。
We're getting a haircut and we're getting a shave, apparently.
服装に関してもぴったり合ったサイズのものを着ていくこと。特に秋葉系の男子は大きめのサイズの服を好んで着ている傾向にあるが、これはだらしなく見えるので良くない。
Why exactly am I in a maid cafe getting date advice from my younger assistant, who is also a girl?
初デートではお互いに緊張していることもあって会話が途切れがち。重要なのは会話のキャッチボール。 一方的に話すだけでは相手が楽しいはずがない。特に女性は会話をするのが大好きなので、むしろ男性は女性の話を聞く側に回ってあげるべき。ただ聞くだけではなく、きちんと相槌を打つことが必要。そうすることで女性は話をちゃんと聞いてくれる人だと思うはず。つまりいつも通りの岡部じゃ全く話にならないってことね。
Great. Not be ourselves. Wonderful dating
普通
advice.
に喋ることから始めないと。あ、例のバカっぽい高笑いは当然禁止ってことで。
Your anxiety levels just doubled from reading this. Oh, I'm sure there will be idiotic laughter during the date. Do not worry.
そもそもあんたって女の子に優しくないのよね。普段の物言いが尊大すぎる。というか偉そうでムカつく。電波妄想も垂れ流すし。
ねえ、デートマニュアル本を音読しているだけの文在で上から目線はやめろ、このメリケン少女めが。
Since neither of us knows anything about romance, we're studying out of a dating manual we bought on the way here.
誰がメリケン処女だ。
お前以外に誰がいる？
はいはい、童貞オツ。知ってる？一度も侵入を許していない砦は頼もしくて、一度も侵入に成功しない兵士は頼りないっていう格言。
それは格言じゃないだろう。というか低レベルな争いにおいて勝ち誇るな。
確かになんだか虚しくなってきた。でもこのデートマニュアルって結構面白いこと書いてあるな。
I love how it's a manual and not just like a WikiHow guide or like dating for dummies. First, he flips through the manual on top of the table.
自分はさりげなく車道側を歩くとか、女の子にお金を出させるのは現金とか。いい？これ明日のデートで全部守らないとダメよ。
Or the dating Bible. Dating for Mim? The mythic dating manual? Wonder if I can really be that careful.
あとは
New product
清潔な
idea.
ハンカチを持っていくこと。女の子が公園のベンチに座るときはすぐに広げてあげること。
俺は世話係ではない。
そう書いてあるんだからしょうがないでしょ。
Mythic Mim brand dating Bible. I'm glad that was not the Mythic Mim brand diaper Bible. That would have been weird.
ファミレスがボーダーライン。それ以上は自分の財布の中身と相談して。
My budget is nothing.
ファミレスがボーダーライン。
We've got mail. From Mayuri. Subject, Okarin became a mad scientist for Mayushi's sake, right? Maybe it's irresponsible of me to say, but you don't have to act like a bad guy. I'm way too preoccupied with this so you have many questions. Where are the family restaurants in Akiba?
待ち合わせ場所には最低15分前には来ておくこと。遅刻厳禁。
15分前到着。
あとはデートコースね。映画館とか美術館、街をブラブラ歩く食事っていうのが無難らしい。
なるほど。意外と地味なんだ。
We have 4 days and she just suggested 4 things. I think we're done here.
俺はてっきり初デートというぐらいだから、夕焼けの綺麗なリゾート風海岸へ行き、そこでファーストキスを交わさなければならないのかと。
あ、それすごくロマンチック。
I mean, we can.
じゃなくて童貞思考全開だな。ドラマや漫画の見過ぎ。
お前もな。
ちなみに相手は未成年なんだから、ホテルに連れ込もうなんて不潔なこと考えないでよ。
I think we're currently at about the earliest back we can physically time leap. Really, Gabe? We don't need to be reminded our date's a minor and we don't have to bring her to a love hotel. Thank you.
それはない。
That way lie forbidden lusts. Not to mention, Lukako's such an innocent girl. If I brought her to a hotel, she'd probably faint from shock.
ざっとこんなところね。どう？私のレクチャー少しは役に立った？
お前のレクチャーではなく、マニュ
You
アル
mean
本のレク
reading
チ
a
ャーだ。
book? Anyway, strolling around town counts as a date, huh? In that case, I don't have to waste money.
にゃにゃ。今日誰かとデートするのかにゃ。
Ferris comes to our table carrying drinks.
お待たせしました。アイスコーヒーになりますにゃ。
As usual, she pours in milk and syrup right in front of me. Chrissy watches this with great interest. I guess this is her first time at a maid cafe.
デート相手はマユシーかにゃ。
Ferris winks at me playfully while stirring Chrissy's iced coffee.
なぜそこでマユリが出てくるのだ？
違うのかにゃ。じゃあ。
Ferris looks at Chrissy. I'm glad she didn't say Daru.
いや、こいつは助手だ。
Chrissy and I exchange glares sharper than a sword's blade. I swear sparks are flying.
じゃ
But
あ
not in the
いつの子なのに
romantic sparks are
どう
flying.
待ってばいろんな子に手を出しすぎだにゃ。
ほう。いろんな子に手を出しすぎなのか。
何をバカな。
Well, I guess I did hug Ferris. From Japan's point of view, yes. He is 20, and I believe the age of majority in Japan is 21. But it's still the, like, he's university age and she is high school age, so it's still, like, a bit weird. That was on the 14th, so when I time leaped to the 12th, it was undone. I shake off a pang of loneliness and return to the conversation. Japan's also weird that, I don't know if this is still the case, but it used to be as long as your family, so probably your dad, put like the family seal on the marriage contract, you could get married at like 14 or stuff like that. I'm not sure if that's still the case. I kind of hope that's not. That's pretty bad if that is. But yeah. Next day finds me strolling around Akiba with Lukako.
次はどこに行きましょうか。
Event number 1, lunch at a family restaurant, is already complete. Took care of the bill, now we're back out in the heat. Did he rhyme that? Complete heat? Okay. At least this has larger font than Dr. Seuss. Got the entire day planned out in my head. The next event is...
街をブラブラするぞ。しよう。
It's Obon holiday, so Akiba is crowded. To avoid the crowds, we end up walking through the back streets. As Smash Mouth plays, my plan is to walk with Lukako all the way to Ueno and back. That should be enough, right? I walk quickly. I don't think they really read what you're supposed to do when you walk around town. This conversation thing isn't going so well. I tried to follow the guide's advice and be a good listener, but Lukako's silent by nature. She doesn't really start talking on her own. Even at the family restaurant, the words we exchange are mostly things like, "It's crowded today," "It's delicious," and "It was delicious." There was literally nothing said between the first bite and, like, paying the check. That was it. I think it was a mistake to just wander around. Especially since we ended up in a residential area with no interesting scenery whatsoever. Lukako speaks up. She's a few steps behind me.
なんだ
I stop and turn around. Lukako catches up and we start walking together again.
覚えていますか？
I remember many things. Can you be more specific, please?
僕と岡部さんが初めて出会った時のこ
おう
Of course. What I actually remember is how I met the male Lukako. It was during Golden Week in May. I was searching Akiba for materials to build a new future gadget when I saw Lukako in his Miko garb, surrounded by some cameramen.
と。やめてください。無理です。
お願いします。写真を1枚撮らせてもらうだけでいいんで。
Why do you have to be called low angler A? The fact that you're a low angler sucks already. But the fact that there's more than one.
そのコスプレすごく燃えるっていうか、ここまで巫女服を着こなしてるレイヤー見たことないし。
これはコスプレじゃなくて。
できれば可愛らしいポーズ取ってもらえるとめちゃ嬉しいんだけど。あ、じゃああれだよ、あれ。ミコミコオーバードライブのめぐみたん。
Oh my, is that... what's the shortcut for that? Magical girl anime with 5 Miku girls as protagonists. Target audience is adolescent girls. Many men in their 20s really like it too for some inexplicable reason. Please hold you, I mean, it's hard... Is this me holding you? I feel more like I'm squeezing your head.
来たー、それ最高。めぐみたん知ってるよね。やってくれないかな。
知りません。すみません。
なんでそんな嫌がるわけ？コスプレして秋葉に来たのって写真撮られるためなわけでしょ？なのに嫌がるとかおかしくない？
Do we need to have the cosplay is not consent talk? Does that need to
そうだ
happen?
よ。それとも俺たちがキモいから拒否ってるわけ？
違いま
I
す。
mean, you are losers.
これはコスプレじゃなくて。
To be honest, Miko garb fascinated me. As Miko are sacred, chosen to serve the gods. I know college girls are doing it for money these days. As far as I'm concerned, that's sacrilege. As is demanding to photograph a sacred Miko, I couldn't let it pass.
そこのカメラ小僧ども。え？なんだよ君。
I think the echoes is supposed to be because this is like in his memory. But it is weird.
灰色の脳細胞の持ち主にして世界に混沌をもたらす狂気のマッドサイエンティストだ。何こ
I
いつ？
told you there would be weird laughter during this date,
マジ
even if it's in a
きちい。
flashback.
それぐらいでやめておけ。その巫女が嫌がっているだろう。なんという中二病ですか。かっこよく女の子を助けてセックルに持ち込もうとしてんじゃね？下心見え見え。これだから今日は。
I can't believe... Thank you, game. I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting something at least just more than a single word. Gosh dang it. Well, let's get out of that menu. This is the greatest definition ever.
ドキュンはお前たちだ。か弱い女子に男二人でまとわりつき、あまつさえ変態写真を撮りたいと懇願するとは、オタクのプライドすら捨てたか。
いえ、僕は。
聖なる巫女を怯えさせるカメラ小僧はカメラ小僧などではない。それは単なる変質者だ。お前たちに聖地秋葉を歩く資格はないと知れ。なんだと？可愛い三次元女子をローアングルから狙うのはみんなやってるだろう。
素人のくせにお高く止まるなって言いたいね。秋葉にコスプレしてきてる時点で無差別に取られても文句言えないでしょ、マジで。
違うんです。僕は男です。
Instantly, our jaws drop to the ground.
だから僕なんかとっても意味ないんですよ。
Lukako murmurs sadly.
マジで？
They wanted even more?
こんな可愛い子が男のはずが。
男です。
Can we not call them 3D girls?
あります。
Lukako lifts his chin a bit, exposing his pale neck. That gesture was really sexy, but there was indeed a lump on his neck.
じゃあ下もついているんですか？
What do you think? Lukako nodded reluctantly. He was already crying by that point. So were the cameramen.
なんだよ、紛らわしいな。
っていうか男なのに巫女服着てるとかマジ吉だろ。
So, I think this is like the worst first date in the history of first dates.
取らなくてよかった。騙された気分だよ。
I'm also just thinking, like, Miko garb, like the skirt for it goes down pretty low, like to mid shin, ankle, maybe as high as knee, but you'd have to get pretty low to get that shot. They left the place, mumbling complaints all the while. Those bastards were a disgrace to otaku everywhere. Dara would have said something like, "Someone this cute can't be a girl. So you're a trap? Awesome!" Daru is the true otaku.
どうもありがとうございました。
And my Daru sounds more like a really bad Goofy impression. I am sorry.
ああ、いや。
でも僕みたいな男を助けて
Now,
がっかり
this is
ですよね。
this is the past version where Lukako is a guy. So in this current world line, assuming that the only thing that changes Lukako is in fact a girl, I wonder how he gets the cameraman to leave. If he like just scares them away by being nuts, or beats them. I don't think he would beat them up, but beats them up.
期待に添えなくてすみません。
お前、名前は？
漆原ルカです。
なぜ俺に謝った？
だって僕こんな顔なのに男だし。
そんなことはどうでもいい。お前が男だろうが女だろうが関係ない。だがそのひがんだ根性気に入らないな。ついてこい。お前にいいものをやる。そのアイテムさえあればお前は勇気を得るだろう。
Yes, for once, and this is past Okabe, for once not being a dick. Now he's being kind of a creep. Even though, like, he just saves him, I would still not follow some dude who's like, I'm gonna give you a great gift.
どうした？力が欲しくないのか？
いえ ち力ですか？
そうだ。俺はお前に力を与えることができる。さあ、求めろ、欲しろ、力を。カメラ小僧にも負けない。お前だけの力を求めるのだ。
まさかその後武器屋本舗に行ってさみだれを買ってもらえるとは思ってもみませんでした。
I also did not expect him to go and shell out what is probably a large sum of money.
いや、
I didn't expect he'd actually come with me. When he did, I realized that he had potential. That's why I bought him 980 yen, tax included, demons. That's about $10 US. I take it back, he did not spend that much money. I was expecting it to be like $100. Afterwards, Lukako and I went through intense training to develop the Seishin Zanma School of Swordsmanship. In retrospect, can't believe I said all that ridiculous stuff. Makes me want to crawl in a hole and hide.
とてもびっくりしましたけど、でも岡部さんがあの時言ってくれたそんなことはどうでもいいっていう言葉はすごく嬉しかったんです。変ですよね、そんな言葉に感動しちゃうなんて。
Lukako's cheeks then turn rosy pink. Her blush is too powerful. I have to look away.
でもその言葉があったから好きになったんです。
え？
Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a goddamn second. She's saying what I think she's saying? That Lukako was a guy. Does that mean I made the guy Lukako fall in love with me? My mind goes blank. Oh god. By the time I drop her back off at the shrine, I'm worn out physically and mentally. We end up walking for 4 hours straight, which was tiring, but my mental exhaustion is greater. My itchy nose is the greatest. In the end, we didn't talk much. We just walked.
今日はすごく楽しかったです。
そうか。
She's just saying that out of consideration. I can tell that she's forcing her smile. All through the date, I couldn't stop thinking about the time Lukako fell in love with me, so I barely made conversation at all. Yeah, I want to know how it played out. I'm guessing... Okay, here's how I'm guessing it played out. So, same kind of thing. Creepy cameramen want to take low-angle pictures of her. He appears, and the difference being, instead of the cameramen leaving because Lukako's a guy, they leave because Okabe is a creepy a creepy psycho. And after a certain point, they're probably like, we can find someone else. It's not worth our time. That manual was completely useless. On this world line, Lukako was a girl from the beginning, so Lukako's memory of when we first met might be inconsistent with mine. But even with that in consideration, Lukako's story still felt out of place.
それでは
Lukako fidgets as she whispers.
なんだ？
また明日。
え？
She wants to go on a date again tomorrow. Of course she does. She wants. You only have like 4 days. Of course she wants to go on one every single day. I mean, we are a couple. We are going out. That means we like each other. It's a very strong like each other. Like, I guess we like each other. And it's summer break right now, so it's natural to go on a date every day.
明日も岡部さんと一緒に 痛いです。
どうも。
ダメですか？
Not right now. Why does anyone want to go on a date with Okabe?
ダメなんだ
Because apparently he said one cool thing in the past. And then, I guess it's just like the rose-colored glasses that Lukako's like, oh, that rest of the stuff? Whatever. He was cool at one time. I'm sure he's a cool dude inside.
よかった。
Lukako smiles again. She looks so happy and relieved. Seeing her like this makes incomprehensible feelings well up inside me.
それじゃあまた明日。
I feel a huge weight on my shoulders. Another date tomorrow. Daru does not look impressed. He lets his true character slip through, his true kindness maybe. He refused to believe there's anything good in him.
リア充は死ね。
And there it is. When I return to the lab, I'm greeted by Mayuri's smile and Daru's pure hatred.
まさか中二病のオカリンに彼女ができるとか。飯まずってレベルじゃねえぞ。
ルカちゃんとのデートはどうだった？
まあなんとかステージクリアしたかも。
Probably somehow. Probably not, actually.
ねえねえ、あさってのコミマ、ルカちゃんとオカリンでコスプレカップルとして出てみようって思ったりしないかな？
Oh gosh.
オカリンからもね、彼氏としてルカちゃんを説得して
You just want her to wear the cosplay that you made.
マユシーがどれだけお願いしてもね、ちっとも OK してくれないんだよ、コスプレ。でもラブラブなオカリンからお願いされたらね、きっとコロって OK すると思うんだ。
断る。
なんで？
His Kamima's on the 15th. You're just reminded of an absolutely cursed thing I sent. What did I send you that? I'm sure I've sent you several cursed things. Mayuri is fated to die that night. Toot-doo-doo. Oh, the toot-doo song. How am I supposed to spend the hours before her death cosplaying at Kamima?
正直なところデートの面白さがさっぱり理解できない。
ゲー。オカリンてめえ。それは世の中の童貞諸君を敵に回す発言だぞ。謝れ。童貞に謝れ。
だって考えてみろ。相手に
You sent a friend here to observe me being awkward on a date, and I ended. We have like 3 more days of dates. I'm sure there'll be more awkwardness.
どうだ面白い要素があるか
But, or watch the next dates won't be awkward.
オカリン、そんなこと言うとね、ルカちゃんが悲しむよ。
Mary's expression is uncharacteristically serious. Except, it's not drawn that way, she just kind of looks a bit sad.
好きな人と一緒にいるだけでね、女の子は幸せなんだよ。満足なんだよ。男の子はそうじゃないのかな。だとしたらマユシーは寂しいです。
Why would that make Mayuri sad?
オカリンがマイノリティなんだよ。つうかデートって言えばエロイベントたくさんあんだろう。
Gosh dang it, Daru.
お前は実にバカだな。
何言ってんだよ。手をつなぐとかマジエロくね。腕を組んでおっぱいを肘に当ててんのよ状態とかエロすぎっしょ。
You had to step away for a second. What did she miss? let's go back through quickly. Mayuri was just saying that, like, girls, from her words, girls are just happy to spend time with the boys they like, and if boys don't feel that way, that makes her sad. And then Daru, of course, has to come in being like, you wasted your date time. Dates are a great time for, like, R-rated stuff to happen. Like hand-holding. It's like... And then he goes into boobs, and it's like, okay, there we go.
そしてデートの終わりにはキスして締めだろチキショーリア充のバカ
エロゲーのやりすぎだ。
Yes, he does play too many games.
ねえねえ、ルカちゃんはいつからオカリンのことを好きだったのかな？
いつからって、それは。
You can answer that question. It's probably like the only thing we actually talked about on that date.
とてもびっくりしましたけど。でも
We don't really need a flashback to something that happened 10 minutes ago in game.
そんなことはどうでもいいっていう言葉はすごく嬉しかったんです。その言葉が
We don't need the flashback.
だから好きになったんです。
Now why do we have creepy music? I guess something didn't line up for him. Think back on what she said. Something still feels off about her story. I said that Luca's gender didn't matter. I remember that clearly. But didn't I say that because Lukako was a guy?
そうだ。そうだよ。変だ。
Now I know it feels out of place. You failed at not failing, of course? I wouldn't have said that to a female Lukako. So why does this Lukako remember what I said back then? Mim, why have you brought up the game? Why? Dang it, Mim. Ban? I mean, what can I can do stuff. I can, there we go. Bye message. Bye message. There we go. Take that, Mim. I recall what happened with Ferris.
思い出したにゃ。
This is a flashback we need, because this is to the previous arc.
フェイリスが叶えたのは10年前に死んだパパを生き返らせることにゃ。
Ferris regained her memories from before she sent the D-mail. Could Lukako too have remembered the previous world line where she was a guy? That would explain everything. However, she remembers that event, and she said she liked me for it, so... Did Lukako like me even when she was a guy? I think I need to check this out. Next morning, I head to the shrine to meet with Lukako. She's already waiting in the courtyard. When she sees me, she smiles and waves her hand. Too cute. Must resist.
おはようございます。
なあ、うん。
今日は
Did we even make plans for what we're doing on the date today?
それより、ルカ子。
はい。
Made up my mind and throw out the question.
お前には男だった頃の記憶が残っていないか？
Lukako twitches for a moment. Dang it, Twitch. And then she hangs her head.
そんなことありません。
I think you're lying to us.
本当に？
Lukako just nods stiffly. I consider a more forceful approach, but the words of the dating manual blaze inside my head. Whatever you do, Don't make the girl sad. You might get dumped. If I get dumped, then what will happen to our 4-day agreement? Lukako might refuse to turn back into a guy. No, Lukako's not like that. Mayuri's life hangs in the balance. I'm sure no matter what I say, she'll turn back. Or is it naive of me to think that? Either way. Even though I'm doing this to save Mayuri, I just can't trample on Lukako's pure maidenly heart. Neither one of us speaks. Mutual distrust, suspicion, discomfort. One word could shatter our temporary relationship. Luka is the first to break the suffocating silence.
ごめんなさい。今日のデート中止にしましょう。
Lukako bows her head and goes back into the shrine office. I hurt her. I feel guilty, but at the same time relieved. I hate myself for it. Instead of returning to the lab, I stand on the bridge in front of the station and gaze blankly at the stream of people. Ferris might be visiting the lab. Ferris was at the lab on this day when I first came to this world line. My actions shouldn't have influenced Mayuri, so she should have called Ferris over to show her the costumes. Right now, I don't want to see anybody. Need to think. But try as I might, no ideas come, no solutions. Lukako agreed to go back to being a guy if I went out with her for a time. I've stayed faithful to that, so... Faithful? How? I just made a huge mistake back there. Done nothing but make Lukako sad. Tomorrow's the 15th, the day Kamima opens. The day Mayuri dies. Very least, I need to make our relationship last until that evening. Tomorrow is the end. But I'm not confident I can show Lukako a fun time. Alright. Oh, people want to swing their swords? Thank you, Samus's. I'll just try something that won't make Lukako sad. No, you were not delayed at all. From, like, the time I saw them to the time you banned them was, like, under 10 seconds. Honestly, that was more than fast enough. Oh, yeah. Yeah. See, my mouse, it has a button for that, and, like, unless I accidentally... You probably can't see it because it's so small. But unless I accidentally press that button, the DPI stays the same. The next morning, after Mayuri and Daru have left for Ariake, I head to the shrine to pick up Lukako. We hop the train at Akiba Station. She looks askance at me. I tell her we're going to see Mayuri. Yours has a button, but it'll change itself. Part of why you're not buying this mouse to replace it. Guess what? Your new mouse can program things for you? Today, it won't be just the two of us. I don't know what to say when we're alone. I'm afraid I'll just hurt her again. It probably could. It's time to try something different. When we get off the train at Tokyo Big Sight, Lukako stares in wonder at the scene spread before her. It's a rat? Not a gerbil. Gotcha. People, people, people. People as far as the eye can see. Welcome to Kamima, the Otaku Festival. It's the first day, so Big Sight's more crowded than usual. This is my plan, to take Lukako to Kamima. I'm not making her cosplay, of course. Lukako wouldn't even do it at Mayuri's request, and I don't want to force her to do anything she doesn't want to do. Should be here on Monday. Wonderful! I also have like an old mouse that I have here that I don't know why I still have it, But it was getting to the point where like you do a single click on it and it would like click 2 or 3 times. It was getting super annoying. So that's why I bought my new mouse. We're just here to look and have fun. The first order of business is to hook up with Mayuri and Daru. Those two live and breathe Kamima, so I'm sure they'll have a lot to talk about. I mean, this was a pretty good mouse. I mean, it lasted me, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years of probably like almost daily use. The rubber on the sides, like on the sides where your fingers go, like the thumb, like wore off a bit and got a bit sticky, but other than that, it was a pretty good mouse. Conversation will flow and I'll be off the hook. How wonderful to have friends you can count on. Of course, bringing a date to Kamima is a surefire way to earn myself the hatred of otaku everywhere. But no matter, I'll endure their contempt if that's what it takes to make Lukako happy. So, resolved, I strike out through the crowd towards our designated rendezvous point. Lukako, clearly overwhelmed by the sheer number of people, struggles to follow behind. Near the edge of the parking lot, I see the petite Mayuri wave her hands high. Have I ruined Mayuri for you? There aren't as many people here. I've ruined her. I see we did not get that haircut, nor did we shave. I also see that Mayuri is not in cosplay either.
ゆっくりしていってね。
ダルは
ダルくんはグッズを手に入れるために並んでる最中だから抜け出せないんだって。ひとしきり戦利品をゲットしたら合流するかもって言ってたよ。
He survives the battle. Damn, that means he won't join up with us for at least another hour. Couldn't he forgo the battle just this once? Lukako's eyes dart from place to place. She's clearly uncomfortable in the chaotic atmosphere. There's still some awkwardness between us after what happened yesterday. Even on the train ride, we barely spoke to each other. What's the point in being a couple if it turns out like this? It's easier to talk when we weren't supposed to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Lukako seemed to enjoy herself more too. Was it a mistake to bring her to Kamima? Well, Lukako didn't refuse, even when I told her we were going to Kamima. She just nodded obediently.
今日はマユシーが会場を案内してあげるよ。って言ってもね、人が多いから邪魔にならないようにしなくちゃ。まずはコスプレ会場に行って、それから中に入ろうかな。
Mayuri's more cheerful than usual. She must be happy to have us here.
ねえねえ、二人とも何が見たい？
ルカコ、見たいものはあるか？
い
え。Lukako shakes her head.
よくわからないので、岡部さんの見たいものを見に行きたいです。
俺は別にそれほど興味があるわけじゃない。
Lukako looks unhappy. Crap, I shouldn't have answered like
ねえ
that.
ねえ、ルカちゃん、コスプレ会場に行ったらね、絶対にコスプレに対する考え方が変わるよ。
Mayuri talks happily to Lukako. Glad I chose to rely on this ditz who can't read the mood.
恥ずかしいとか、そういうのはちっともなくてね。みんなとっても楽しそうなんだから。マユシーのコスを着てくれてるレイヤーさん、楓ちゃんと吹雪ちゃんって言うんだけど、二人のことも紹介するね。でね、できれば明日も来てほしいな。そしたらね、オカリンとルカちゃんの分のコスも用意しておくから。オカリンにはね、コードジアースの ゼロサム様こそが似合うと思うんだ。
So we have a Code Geass reference. Yeah.
オカリンが一緒ならね、ルカちゃんも安心してコスプレできるでしょ。
You think you know why Lukako doesn't want to cosplay? I mean, the backstory flashback we had very strong, hints of cosplay, so...
どうかな。いいアイデアだってマユシー的には思うんだ。
却下だな。
ごめんなさい。そんな。
Mary slumps her shoulders in disappointment. In the end, Lukako and I got fed up with the amount of people and left Ariake early. I think this is a new scene. New background. We took the direct shuttle bus to Akiba that only runs during Kamima. It was so cramped inside I thought I was gonna die.
No.
By the time we get to Akiba, Lukako and I are exhausted. My feet feel like blocks of lead. I don't have the energy to even attempt conversation. The two of us schlep back to the shrine without speaking a word, like Spanish monks under a vow of silence. Lukako doesn't raise a single complaint, but taking her to Kamimo is obviously a mistake. Lukako's expression has been stiff ever since we met up with Mayuri. Maybe she's still traumatized by otaku. I mean, anyone can take a vow of silence. It doesn't even have to be a monk, let alone a Spanish monk, Samus is. But yes, here we go. If you hadn't connected the dots, the first time I met Lukako, he was being harassed by otaku. Maybe they left a bad impression. Yeah, it is much more recognizable being a monk. We don't talk. Spent most of the day shoulder to shoulder with strangers. I can probably count on my fingers the words I said directly to Lukako today. When we arrive at the shrine, our time as a couple will end. So this is our last chance to talk as boyfriend and girlfriend. But I'm confused. What should I talk about? I try thinking about the things we have in common. The demon sword, Samidare. The Seishin Zanma School of Swordsmanship. First who said to avoid Chinubio topics, and the dating manual concurred. What else is there? It finally dawns on me. There's nothing else Lukako and I share. Silence dominates the shrine. Silence should be calming, but it's not. I've safely escorted Lukako home. Mayuri's death is just 3 hours away. The temporary relationship between me and Lukako ends here. Now, I just need Lukako to give me her mother's pager number. However, is it really okay to let it end like this? In the end, what have I done for Lukako? I haven't done squat, have I? All I've done is hurt her. Suddenly, Lukako starts sobbing. She covers her mouth with both hands. Can't stop the tears pouring from her eyes.
Lukako.
When I approach her, Lukako pulls back. Lukako wipes the corners of her eyes, but the tears keep flowing, forming a glistening line down each cheek. I'm speechless. I have no idea what to do. The girl is crying before my eyes. It's my duty as a man to comfort her. I know that, yet no words come. I just stand there like a useless statue. The cause of Lukako's tears is undoubtedly me. I didn't treat her right as my girlfriend, even if it was only a temporary arrangement. Now it ends with me watching as Lukako cries. Lukako. I'm the one who did this to her. I'm the cause of her grief. And yet... She thanks me and bows her head. She lifts her head and smiles shyly through her tears. That's a lie. That has to be a lie. To my surprise, Lukako takes my hand in hers. Her hand is very warm and delicate. This is the first time I've touched her since we became a couple. And it will be the last. Lukako places a note in my hand, and then she pulls away. She bows her head again. Lukako turns her back to me and disappears into the shrine office. I look at the note. There's a number written there. Probably her mother's pager number. She kept her promise. But I didn't keep mine. Can't let it end like this. I run full speed back to the lab, ignoring Chrisu's call to stop, slap on the headgear, and leap to the past. I regain consciousness in front of Akihabara Station. Lukako is next to me. We're about to board the train for Kamima. Lukako looks a little anxious, but she doesn't raise a single complaint. Shuttle bus pulls up. The huge line of people begins to move. We can't go to Kamima like this. Shaking off my time leap-induced vertigo, I take Lukako by the hand.
ついてこい。
Once we get out of the line, I let go of Lukako's hand and start walking.
コミマに行くのは中止だ。
え？
俺は好きにやらせてもらう。
岡部さん、どこへ？岡部さん。
I keep walking with Lukako's hand in mine, ignoring everything else. Yes, DVD. And what's left of it is games, DVD, and then I don't know the kanji to the right of DVD. They have anime. I can't read any of the other. Lukako looks bewildered at first, but eventually she says no more, just starts following me with a sad expression. We arrive at Yanabayashi Shrine, a place devoid of visitors, where an aura of peace and dignity dominates. The cries of cicadas resound. Lukako's home. Finally, I turn to face Lukako. Instead of letting go, I grasp her warm hand even tighter than before. Perhaps it's the heat, or perhaps it's our nervousness, but our hands are damp with sweat. But still, I don't let go. Lukako is hanging her head. She might cry at any moment.
ことですよね。
Her lips tremble. Her voice trembles. I summon my resolve and answer her with a laugh. Here's the actual in-date laugh.
何を勘違いしている？俺たちの恋人関係はまだ終了してないぜ。
I strike a pose and mimic a line from a popular card battling anime. Until I witnessed Mayuri's death, this is how I acted all the time. Now it takes some effort, but I still have it in me.
でも
さっき言っただろ。俺の好きにさせてもらうと。さあ、我が弟子よ。今すぐ妖刀さみだれを持ってくるのだ。
The wind blows. The tree is growing over the main building rustles its leaves in response. Lukako looks at me blankly. Tears form in the corners of her eye.
なんです。
なんですだと？決まっているだろう。精神残魔流の修行だ。
修行？
この2ヶ月近く、俺たち2人でやってきた修行、忘れたのか？
ええ。でも岡部さん。
今日まだ。我が名を忘れたのか、ルカコ。俺は狂気のマッドサイエンティスト、法院京馬だ。
Swallowing my embarrassment, I strike another pose.
男だとか女だとか、そういうところで俺は混乱して、ルカコとの距離をうまくつかめずにいた。だがな、俺とルカコの関係は初めから決まっていたんだ。
So you say anticlimactic, but when the two of them first met, this was how he acted. This was the person Lukako fell in love with. As much as I absolutely hate this persona of his.
決まっていたって何が？
Yeah, the laugh was anticlimactic. But I mean, are you surprised by it at this point?
俺は男で、お前は女で。俺たちは今日までの仮初めの恋人。
I take a deep breath. I gently comb my fingers through Lukako's hair. I twist my lips into a grin.
そんなことはどうでもいい。俺は俺であり、ルカコはルカコであり、ルカコは俺の弟子だ。
As I gently stroke her hair, Lukako puts her warm hand on top of mine. The tears collected in the corners of her eyes suddenly fall. Yes, he's normally insane. Yep.
僕じゃなくて京馬さんは確かに僕の師匠です。
We're in the master kind of relationship now. Abort.
よく言った。さあルカコよ、サミダレを持ってくるのだ。
はい。待っててくださいね。すぐ取ってきますから、ここにいてくださいね。
どこにも行かないさ。だから早く行くんだ。
Lukako reluctantly lets go of my hand, shyly turns away from me, and heads to the shrine office. I mean, that part's fairly standard, but how many of those masters and apprentices in Star Wars were dating each other at the same time? We spend 4 hours training, just like we used to. Practice swings with the demon sword. Stories of the sword's history. It's not the Jedi way. Lectures on the intricacies of Seishin Zama swordsmanship. All fabricated from my Shinubio delusions. I talk. Lukako, dressed now in her Miko robes, listens with rapt attention. Occasionally, we take a break, sit on the shrine stairway, eat the sweet rice balls Lukako's mother brings us. And that's how we spend an extraordinarily ordinary 4 hours.
よし、今日はここまで。
Lukako lowers her stance and slowly sheathes the demon sword, Samidare. She looks so beautiful and majestic, standing there in flowing white robes, sword shining in her hands. I find myself mesmerized once again. I'm surprised this sword is, like, still shining that well, considering it was $10. That sounds like a plastic quality sword to me. Lukako bows, snapping me out of it.
ありがとうございました。ちょっとだけ強くなれた気がします。
謙遜しなくていい。今日、お前は精神残魔流奥義の一つ、32式さくらんぼを得得した。だが過信はするな。お前はまだまだ弱いんだからな。はい、
もっともっと京馬さんに教えてもらいたいです。
The breeze feels nice after the sweat we worked up. We savor our comfortable fatigue as we drink the barley tea Lukako's mother brought for us.
久しぶりに
Back in your day, there were only 7 forms in the forbidden 7.5 form.
ここ何日か。俺の意識は
I also love the fact that, like, the first thing she masters isn't like the first form or the second. No, they jump straight to the 32nd. The manual.
だがもう完全復活した。心配かけたな。
よかった。いつもの京馬さんが戻ってきてくれて。
Lukako answers happily, and then her expression turns serious, as if she's made up her mind about something.
昨日僕に聞きましたよね。男だった時の記憶が残っているかって。
ああ。
Lukako looks away. I see her hands fidgeting in her lap. Finally, with trembling lips, she speaks.
僕覚えているんです。
No surprise. I expected she to remember, after what I experienced with Ferris.
覚えているというか、なんて言ったらいいのか。とても儚い感じ。
儚い。
はっきり思い出したわけじゃなくて、記憶の海の底の方というか、頭の
Then, Lukako starts pawing at the air, above, to the right of her head.
この辺にあるような感じです。
I don't really get it.
とにかく覚えているよな。
Lukako nods.
すみません。昨日は嘘をついちゃいました。
気にするな。この俺、法王院京馬を欺いたのだから大したものだ。
We were not fooled in the slightest.
そのおかげで、お母さん
But
の
because we are the master, we can lie and convince you.
僕、聞かなくても知っているんです。
She takes out a piece of paper, on which is written the number.
今日はどんな結果になってもこれを渡すつもりでした。それからもう一つ。
One more thing.
記憶のことと関係しているかどうかわからないんですけど、古いパソコンのありかについて。
So we never actually find out what happened in like the reconstructed Lukako as a girl encounter with the two creeps with cameras.
IBN5100 のことか。
はい。
What did you do with that computer?
そうだと思います。
True, Lukako did seem like she knew something about the IBN 5100. Plus, Luca's dad confirmed that it was here at the shrine, and one day it suddenly disappeared. Does Lukako know where it is now?
それが事実なら。ルカ子、お前は男に戻らなくても済むかもしれない。
Your delay is quite significant, Mim. But yes. But Lukako faintly shakes her head.
それは無理だと思います。
なんで？
Lukako grips my
つい
hand.
てきてください。案内します。
She looks into my eyes. Lukako is no longer crying. The fading sunlight, her eyes shine with firm resolve. She brings me to Daibiru. I look up at the huge towering
こ
building.
こに IBN5100 が。
そっちじゃなくてですね。
Lukako faces away from Daibiru and points to a coin locker tucked in a narrow alley. No, Mim, not that kind of sword fighting.
去年のお正月前、
Lukako walks up to the coin locker as she
そ
talks.
の時までうちの神社にあのパソコンはあったんです。
Until New Year's. That's a contradiction. It's only 2 weeks ago that I found the IBN 5100 at Yanabayashi Shrine. But we know that Ferris donates it way back when, so it could have been there before that. Which means I really haven't returned to the original world
僕
line.
のせいなんです。僕が神事のお手伝いで倉庫をお掃除していた時に
What did you do?
壊しちゃったんです。
And then you hid it here?
壊した？
Are my mods getting into a master-servant relationship right now? Lukako not. Dang it.
でももしお父さんに知られたら怒られると思って、それでこっそりここまで持ってきてコインロッカーの中に隠したんです。
よくここまで持ってこられたな。あれは尋常じゃない重さだぞ。
家にあった台車を使いました。そのせいで台車まで壊れちゃったんですけど。
Even so, it must have been hard to get it here with just a pushcart. Maybe she was running on adrenaline.
京馬さんが探してるって聞いたとき、僕すごくびっくりして。
Well, I guess we know now in Monster Seeking Monster that Mim wants to be in a master-servant relationship and Samus does not. I think we've learned how to pick up Mim.
本当のことずっと話そうって思ってたんですけど、嫌われるかもしれないって考えたら言い出せませんでした。
Yes, Mim, we've learned your secrets. Oh, yes.
バカだな。そんなことでお前を嫌うわけがないだろう。何しろお前は俺の弟子なのだからな。
はい。
Lukako takes the locker key out of her pocket.
もう1年半以上放置したから管理会社に持っていかれちゃったかもしれませんけど。
1年半放置か。 だとしたら絶望的だな。
If I owned this kind of like coin locker thing, I would be like cutting open the lock after a week. This locker charges 200 yen per day. Normally, if a coin locker goes unpaid for more than a few days, the management retrieves the contents. If the owner doesn't claim it within a month, it's usually thrown away. Meaning the IBN 5100 is already... Lukako goes to a large lock at the end of the row, inserts the key and tries the lock.
鍵かかってないみたいです。
確定だな。
Sure enough, Lukako opens the door to reveal an empty locker.
すみません。
Either way, it doesn't matter. There's no point in retrieving a broken IBN 5100. But I don't tell her that.
お前が責任を感じなくてもいい。俺が安易に世界を歪ませたのが一番の元凶なんだからな。
京馬さん。
That's why I must bear the burden. Mayuri's pain, Suzuha's pain, Ferris's pain, and now Lukako's pain. Something occurs to me. What if I send a D-mail telling Lukako not to sweep the storehouse? How would that change the world line? The IBN 5100 stay at Yanabayashi Shrine, ready for me to retrieve in August as planned? Part of me wants to try sending that D-mail. If it works, Lukako could stay a girl. No, I mustn't give in to the temptation. My goal is to restore the world line, not warp it further. Fix the past to save Mayuri. That is my mission.
僕の記憶、なんだか奇妙なんです。
奇妙とは？
僕の記憶の中には、パソコンのことについての2つの記憶が混ざっていて、1つはパソコンを壊した僕の記憶、もう1つはそんなパソコンは全然知らないし、倉庫のお掃除もしなかった僕の記憶。男だった僕はパソコンを壊してません。倉庫の掃除の代わりに本殿のお掃除をしていたから。
So Lukako swept the storehouse because she became a girl. Because she swept the storehouse, she broke the IBN 5100 and deposited it into this coin locker. As a result, the IBN 5100 will never reach me. Is this the butterfly
やっ
effect?
ぱり僕が男に戻るしか方法はないみたいです。
There's no longer any doubt in her eyes. There's no choice. She knows it as well as I. We return empty-handed to Yanabayashi Shrine, just dyed scarlet by the setting sun. Lukako lets go of my hand after we arrive. Spent the whole walk hand in hand. Then she turns to me.
今度こそお別れですね。
ああ。
京馬さんと修行ができて本当に良かったです。
She smiles shyly again, but her cheeks are dyed pink. You can tell she's desperately holding back her tears. But those tears hold a different meaning than the ones I saw before I time leaped. At least, I'd like to think
俺
so.
はお前に恋人らしいことは何もしてやれなかったな。
そんなことはどうでもいいですよ。
ああ、そうだった。
I'm sincerely relieved, as Lukako smiled for me.
まゆりちゃんのこと助けてあげてください。まゆりちゃんは僕にとっても大事なお友達ですから。
ルカ子。
もう行ってください。出ないと僕泣いちゃいそうで。だからお願いします。今日までありがとうございました。こういう時は例の合言葉ですよね。 エルサイこんがり
So close.
コングルーだ。
I find myself smiling. Lukako forces a smile too.
エルサイコングルーです
She bows deeply. She doesn't raise her head. A sign for me to go already. I turn back to the archway at the shrine's entrance. My feet are heavy. They won't advance. I stop in front of the stairs. I take out my phone.
もしもし岡部、まゆりから電話あったわよ。プンプンしてた。あんたがコミマに来る約束をすっぽかしたって。
クリスティーナ、今から言う番号を電話レンジカッコ仮に入力してくれ。
何よ、どういうことか説明して。
いいから頼む。これから D メールを送る。
I hear a sigh on the other end of the phone.
番号は
I tell her Lukako's mother's pager number, another string of numbers attached. Really, game? Asterisk 2 asterisk 2292983183129298318312929. Meat, meat, veg, veg, meat, meat, veg, veg. When she sees this, Lukako's mother will probably think it's a prank. Yes, it's repetitive, probably just to make sure that it was entirely a fake number. It actually made it much easier to read, to be entirely honest. That still doesn't change the world line, we can just try something else. Pagers in 1992 didn't display the sender's number. Lukako's mother won't know who sent it. I already told Christy the timer setting. Everything's ready. I hang up once I confirm that the 42-inch CRT is on. Now, I just need to call the phone wave, name subject to change. Then the world line will change. Lukako will turn back into a guy. Her memories will disappear. Mayuri won't die today. No, we haven't even gotten to the ending choice yet. However, I hesitate to open my address book. My thoughts turn to Lukako, who's probably still watching me from behind. If I turn around, what will I see on her face? Hello, Avier, how's it going?
Suspicious.
Thank you for the 3 bits. We're not quite at the choice yet. It does have the different cursor. Also, we can't pull out our phone because our phone is already out in the background. I want to check, but I don't think she'd want that. Lukako finally smiled for me today, but I still have lingering reservations inside. This time, I'm about to sacrifice Lukako's memories. The memories of the 17 years she lived as a girl in this world line. The memories of her parents who rejoiced when their daughter was born. I'm about to erase all of that. But if I don't, I'll be rejecting the 17 years Lukako lived as a guy. I'll be rejecting the memories of his parents who rejoiced when their son was born. Even so, is it okay to turn Lukako back into a guy? I'm lost and cannot take another step. I've sacrificed the memories of 2 friends already. The sight of their tears is burned into my mind. Something soft presses against my back. Lukako has embraced me from behind. It's not an ending without the sad music. I hear faint sobbing. What expression is she making now? Even without looking, I can tell.
僕本当は戻りたくないです
Her words are like needles stabbing into my heart.
だってお 男に戻ったら岡部さんへのこの気持ち封印しなくちゃいけないから。男なのに岡部さんのこと好きでいちゃいけないと思うから。
I have nothing against homosexuals. Thank you, game, for not making me say something entirely rude. But unfortunately, I am heterosexual. I won't be able to answer Lukako's feelings if he's a guy.
それに今日の記憶も消えちゃうんですよね。手をつないで一緒に歩いたことも久しぶりに
Yes, everyone should be free to be whatever they want to be. Sadly, I know that's not the case for many people in the world, and I seriously hope that changes soon. Like, if you can't be yourself, then... Well, if you are making someone not be themselves, then yes, you are the monster and you've always been the monster.
こうして今岡部さんの体に触れていることも忘れたくない。僕忘れたくないです。だって好きだから岡部さんのこと好きだから。まゆりちゃんを助けたい気持ちは僕にもあるからしょうがないって理性では理解できていても。
Yeah, I agree, Mim. And Samus, I'm sorry to hear that you have to hide your true self. Yeah, I agree, Mim. Sadly, some people are just always going to be dicks. And I do think, as a world, we are moving, like, slowly but surely in a better direction. But I think there's always going to be some people who refuse that change, and even if, as a whole, as a world, we are at that stage of acceptance, there's always going to be someone who's there to make someone feel like crap because of who they are.
やっぱり辛いです。
But yes, I totally agree. We just need to let them know that they are loved, and hopefully the fact that knowing they are loved by, you know, people who mattered to them will make them feel at home with who they are. Yes, and that's the other thing Samus is pointing out, that people you feel like you should be reliant on, like family, close friends, like if you feel that you can't trust them, like that's just a horrible situation to be in. Like, if you can't be yourself to, like, the people that you're closest to, that you spend most of your time with, like, those are the people you want to be yourself with the most.
せめて今日の記憶だけは
I'm getting a bit warm, so sweater is coming off.
残しておきたかったです。
Goodbye, sweater.
こんなに辛い気持ちを味わうって知ってたなら女の子になりたいなんて願うんじゃなかった。
Lukako.
好 すみません。そんなことはどうでもいい気持ちですよね。
お前が男に戻っても俺にとってルカ子はルカ子だ。それは変わらない。
はい、そう言ってもらえて嬉しいです。岡部さん、メール送ってください。お願いします。早く送って。
So we're approaching the decision.
これ以上岡部さんのぬくもりを感じていたら、僕もっと嫌なこと言っちゃいそうだから、もう気持ちを我慢できなくなっちゃうから。
だが
Is this really okay?
岡部さん、お願い。
I'm about to sacrifice someone again. Is it my place to make that decision? My fingers tremble around my phone. But Lukako embraces those trembling fingers with her own. Stream crash? I don't see anything on my side. Samus, is it fine for you? Mim is on another continent now, so... And Twitch just be like that sometimes. Okay. Could be on Mim's side, could be just Twitch being Twitch. Thank you, Avier, for confirming as well. And we have Mim back. Okay, there is the different thing. The different icon. So we're going to save there. And we are going to ignore everything we just did and do the bad Lukako ending. It's giving us several options. We are going to ignore all of them. With just one call to the phone wave, name subject to change, and send a message to Luca's mother's pager.
女の子だった僕のこと覚えていてくれますか？
I make the call.
たった4日間だけ恋人だった僕のこと覚えていてくれますか？
ダメだ。できない。
Well, it does, but we're not going to do it, because we want to see all the endings.
岡部さん、どうして？
もう嫌なんだ。誰かの思い出を犠牲にするのは。
Already trampled on Suzuha and Ferris's memories. I turned a blind eye to their suffering, all the while telling myself it was to save Mayuri. I justified it by telling myself I would carry their burdens. That was just a convenient excuse.
俺にはそんな権利ないんだ。
I fall to my knees, unable to stand. The only way to save Mayuri is to send this email. There's no alternative. Even so, I don't have the right to erase Lukako's entire life as a girl. I can't do such an arrogant thing. More than anything, I don't want to lose the Lukako beside me right now.
岡部さん、
This is also the last bad ending. After this, we have the normal ending, and then there's the good ending and the perfect ending. Mayuri can't be saved. Mayuri's death is fate. No matter how many world lines I cross, convergence will occur. Mayuri will die, no matter what. I'm tired of it all. Mayuri, I'm sorry. My ego wasn't strong enough to sacrifice everything for your sake. First day of Kamima has ended. A few otaku warriors linger to check their spoils before beginning the odyssey home. Likewise, Ariake is silent and still, as if the crowd Lukako and I saw this afternoon was a lie. Kamima runs for 3 days straight, but it already feels like the end of a festival. Of course, the silence is just for tonight. Tomorrow people will come to fill this spacious promenade once again. My hand clutches at my chest. Mayuri will die in less than an hour. I'm not ready. Even so, I want to be with her in her final moments. I won't let her leave this world alone. That's why I came here right after leaving the shrine. She should still be in Ariake somewhere. I contacted both Mayuri and Daru by mail. Can I check? Did we actually? We did not. Take that, game! They're still in Ariake. They should be here any minute now. Do we have options in this ending? He means paper mail? We wrote them a letter. He doesn't have to say it. I know exactly what she means. There's only one thing I can say. This was my choice. You don't have to worry about a thing. I know that mail won't be enough to stop Lukako from blaming herself. I have to send it all the same, only to strengthen my own resolve. Memories from this morning rise unbidden. Mayuri stopped by the lab on the way to Kamima. I was dozing on the couch. Suddenly, the darkness was burned away by light. Squinting against the fluorescent radiance, I raised my head to see who had entered. Oh, we got that weird echo again. Mayuri was there, tugging a suitcase. I'd been up all night, trying to solve the problem of my last date with Lukako. I mean, at the end of this, we're probably just gonna watch Mayuri die again, if I'm being entirely honest. Took a sandwich and some potato salad from her convenience store bag. I'm surprised there's not any bananas. Bananas are a good travel snack.
Lukako にメールしたのか?
Lukako's gonna feel so bad in this ending. Because she's gonna know that Mayuri is gonna die in a couple hours. And the choice of her and Okabe is the reason why it happened. The day before, Lukako burst into tears barely 5 minutes after we met up, then we parted ways. That's why I couldn't give Mayuri an answer.
そうだとしたらね、マユシーは悲しいよ。
悲しい。
悲しい。だってね、ルカちゃんはマユシーのお友達だもん。
It was Mayuri's last day alive, and also Lukako's last day together with me. I asked myself, could I really let it end with both of them sad? Let it end? What right did I have to decide when it ends? My arrogance made me want to vomit. And then, as if to rely on Mayuri, I began to tell her my new
お
plan.
前は今日ずっと小見魔会場にいるのか。
いるけど、どうして？
ルカ子を連れて行ってもいいか。
本当？もちろんいいよ。
Mayuri smiled happily, took some milk out of the refrigerator to wash down the sandwich, began to enjoy her breakfast.
ルカ子にコスプレをしてもらう件はどうなった？
結局ね、説得はできなかったよ。嫌がってるのに無理やり着せたりしてね、トラウマになっちゃったらよくないもん。
So basically she gave up.
でもね、ルカちゃんにコミマに来てもらうっていうのはいいアイデアかも。
Can the birds in the background be quiet now? We know it's morning, we get it.
そこで雰囲気を見てもらったら、ルカちゃんもやってみようかなって思うようになるかな。そしたら次の冬のコミマでいいからコスプレしてくれないかな。
どうだろうな。
そうなってくれるといいな。ねえねえ、本当に今日ルカちゃんを連れてきてくれる？
ああ。
オカリンもマユシーの作ったコス見に来てくれる？
そういうことになる。
そっか、本当に2人に来てもらえるならね、とっても嬉しいよ。
Mayuri packed her costumes into the suitcase.
じゃあもう行かなきゃ。絶対来てね。ずっと待ってるからね。今日だけじゃなくて明日も来たいって思うように頑張って案内するから。
I could hear my teeth grinding. I knew that whether Mayuri would get to see tomorrow depended entirely on my actions. This day had gone as planned. My status as Lukako's temporary boyfriend would have come to a close. Lukako would have gone back to being a guy. Mayuri would survive the night. We'd go to Kamima tomorrow without a care in the world.
オカリン、どうかした？
Mayuri looked at me quizzically. She's always been sensitive to changes in my demeanor. So I put on a smile and responded as Hoen Kyoma.
問題ない。世界を支配する機関といかに対決するかについて少し思いを馳せていただけだ。昼間有明で会おう。
待ってるね。
Mayuri didn't leave right away. Just stood there in front of the door looking at me.
マユシーだったらいつでも何でも相談に乗るからね。
マユリ。
じゃあ行ってきまーす。
Mayuri cheerfully flew out the door, suitcase in hand, like the White Rabbit in Wonderland. The sound of her footsteps gradually faded away. Now alone, I took a deep breath. Time limit was 13 hours after that point in time. In those 13 hours, I was to return Lukako to manhood. I thought I had to change her back, but now...
オカリン、
A voice calls me back to the present. There's Mayuri dragging her suitcase. Daru isn't with her. She's probably upset. After all, I completely stood her up on the promise we made this morning.
来てくれたんだ。でもちょっと遅いよ。 マユシーはずっと待ってたのに、すごく寂しかったのです。
すまない。
I can't look Mayuri in the eye. Mayuri was waiting in vain. I was making the worst possible decision for her. I chose not to turn Lukako back. I chose not to save Mayuri. No, let's not beat around the bush. I chose to let her die. It's not that I don't want to save her. I do. I can't bring myself to make the necessary
ルカ
sacrifice.
ちゃんは
来ていない。
また泣かせちゃったの？
いや、
My thoughts are a jumble. For every word seems an accusation. Of course, I know that's not her intent. Even if she knew what I had done, this innocent childhood friend of mine doesn't have a bitter bone in her body. It's my guilty conscience, changing Mayuri's words into swords, stabbing straight through the heart. But even so, I can no longer change the past. I don't want to change it. So I have no other choice. No other choice but to accept the death this world so desires. If I were a normal man, I would have had to accept Mayuri's death, whether I liked it or not. I wouldn't have been able to try and avert it. By chance, I acquired the power of a god. It allowed me to try again and again. If anything, I should be grateful for the opportunity I was given.
おかり？
I can't let Mayuri sense my unease. I can always tell when there's something bothering me. 10 minutes left. I want her to spend them happy and carefree. It's the very least I can do for her. So I put on the mask of Hoenn Kyoma, just as I did for Lukako.
案ずるなマユリ。俺とルカ子は至って順調。あの秋葉原の先森たる巫女とは強い縁で結ばれているのだ。そう、俺とルカ子は離れたくも離れられない運命なのだよ。
Why didn't he laugh like that with Lukako?
この俺の IQ170 を誇る灰色の脳細胞を持ってルカ子に笑顔を蘇らせた。あいつは言った。俺と一緒に修行ができて楽しかったとな。
As soon as those words leave my lips, I realize my mistake. That makes it sound like I broke my promise to Mayuri just so I could give Lukako a fun time, doesn't it? Well, I suppose that is what happened. Mayuri didn't need to know that.
本当？よかった。
Mayuri, innocent as she is, just gives me a happy, relieved smile.
じゃあ、オカリンとルカちゃんは別れたりすることもないんだね。
ああ、別れない。
Actually, our temporary relationship has already ended. That was our agreement. But I don't think I need to tell Mayuri that.
そっか。これでマユシーは安心してコミマに集中できるよ。
マユリは明日も参加するのか？
そうだよ。3日連続なの。
I shouldn't have asked. I fight the urge to check my phone. I check it anyways. The last time I checked it was about 7 p.m. What comic anime convention ends at 7 p.m.? And like all the people have left by 7 p.m. I don't have the guts to check again. I don't want to watch the seconds tick down to Mayuri's death. Yeah, I would have thought that Kamima would go a bit later. Okay, it closed at 7. Fair enough. I still would have expected people to be like hanging around outside.
あのね、さっき電話したらまだ近くにいるって言ってたよ。
別に置いていってもいいんだがな。
もうちょっと待ってみようよ。
That's what Mayuri wants, then I won't deny her. Besides, I don't want Mayuri's last moments to be on a crowded train or bus, or rather somewhere she can see the stars. Not that I have any right to choose your place of death.
ねえねえ、なんとかしてルカちゃんにコスプレしてもらえないかな。どうやって説得すればいいんだろうね。
Mayuri's mood is completely healed. Why is she so happy? Did she hear something pleasing somewhere in this conversation? Was it knowing that things are going well between me and Lukako? Or was it that I kept my promise to come here after all? I don't know. But seeing Mayuri's happy smile makes my heart ache.
ルカちゃんがキラリちゃんのコスプレしたらね、絶対似合うと思うんだ。ルカちゃんってね、マユシーがドキドキしちゃうくらい可愛いもん。世界中の人たちにね、ルカちゃんの可愛さを知ってもらいたいってオカリンも思うよね。あ、それともルカちゃんは自分だけのものって思ってるのかな。でもね、独り占めはダメだよ。マユシーだってルカちゃんにキュンキュンしたいよ。
別にマユリの好きにしたらいい。ルカ子は俺のものじゃないんだから。
そっか、よかった。それにね、ルカちゃんにコスプレしてもらいたい理由はもう一つあるんだよ。
Mayuri's awfully obsessed with Lukako today. Come to think of it, Mayuri has done nothing but talk about Lukako these past 4 days, ever since Lukako and I started dating.
ルカちゃんって普段おとなしいでしょ。あんまり自分の意見も言おうとしないし、コスプレするとね、普段の自分とは別の自分になれるんだよ。だからね、最初は恥ずかしいかもしれないけど、ルカちゃんも一度やればきっと新しいルカちゃんを見つけられると思うんだ。そしたらね、今より積極的な性格になってね、もしかするとオカリンをお尻に敷いちゃうかもしれないよ。
That last bit wasn't needed, but thanks. She really does care for Lukako. And yet, I know that all of her hopes and dreams are in vain. Suddenly, Mayuri falls silent. She looks up and raises one hand high above her head, as if to catch the stars twinkling in the night sky. Stardust handshake.
星は見えるか？
You can see the stars more clearly in Ariake than Akiba. If only the stars would answer her call. If only she could melt into their embrace. What salvation that would be. In the past, when she's reached for the sky, I've always pulled her back down to earth, to keep her from floating away. But today I don't dare. What does Mayuri think about when she reaches for the starry sky? I never asked her. Perhaps now is the time.
マユリ、
Please don't die before you answer this question.
おーい、オカリン。
Oh, we got interrupted. Okay. Darwin's up to us, calling our names.
ああ、ダルくん、遅いよ。
What were you thinking, Samuses?
あ、悪い悪い。いやー、戦利品の確認に手間取ったでござる。
About the whole master servant thing. Dara's backpack is filled to the brim. He's also carrying 5 paper bags illustrated with moe drawings. Such zeal.
じゃあ帰ろっか。
Mayuri gets up to lead the way. We start heading towards the train station. The direct shuttle bus to Akiba has already ended its service.
今日も暑くて死ぬかと思ったっつーの。コスプレ会場はどうだったん？
風が気持ちよかったよ。
まあ、マユシは自分でコスプレするわけじゃないしな。 つうか、オカリンいつ来たん？なんか買った？
Thanks for noticing we're here.
おやおや、なんか暗くね？彼女持ちのリア充のくせに、なぜにそんな顔してやがりますか？
オカリン？どうかし。
Mayuri's voice is abruptly cut short. Her suitcase falls to the ground with a thud. It's time. Mayuri presses her hands to the center of her chest. Face contorts in pain. I see it happen in slow motion, frame by frame. Slowly, slowly. She starts to fall. It's so sudden. So sudden. And so, I fail to catch her in time. Yes, that was very sudden. It's like one frame she was there and then suddenly, poof, gone. Mayuri falls to the ground, motionless.
Mayushi?
I can't move. I can't breathe. Strangely, I feel no sorrow. All I feel is guilt. I knew this would happen. I could have prevented it. The one who killed Mayuri is me.
Mayushi! どうしたんだよ!
Daru tosses his bags away and runs to Mayuri's side. He lifts her up and slaps her cheeks a bit. Don't think that's great CPR. I keep watching, as if I were merely a bystander.
してない。え、何これ？なんだよこれ？オカリン、マユシがなんか変だよ。
死んだんだ。
What could be the cause? A heart attack? She wasn't killed this time. It's a relief. At least Mayuri died in... Really, game? At least she died in one piece?
死んだって。そんな、嘘だろ？だって今の今まで普通に話してたし。
You can have a heart attack pretty young, but we don't know, and I don't think we will know in this ending what kills her.
僕を騙してどうしようってんだよ。
Like, was she perhaps poisoned, for example?
誰？
Put my hand on Daru's shoulder to calm him
マ
down.
ユリは死んだ。
Daru turns pale. His lips tremble as he looks at Mayuri's face in disbelief.
救急車を呼ぼう。
なんでこんな。つうか、お前なんでそんな平然とした顔してんだよ。死んだんだぞ。もう帰ってこないんだぞ。わかってんのか、オカリン。
わかってる。
わかってるじゃなくてさ、マユシが息をしてないんだよ。なあ。
俺は見殺しにした。
I kneel beside Mayuri.
俺はマユリを助けられなかった。
I reach out to Mayuri's motionless body.
いや違う。救わなかった。
I embrace her tightly.
見捨てたんだ。俺はマユリを。
I look up to the starry sky, just as Mayuri always did. The tears don't come. Maybe I've gotten used to it. Maybe it's because I'm not worthy to mourn her. What fills my heart is emptiness. I'm leaning against the wall, hugging both knees. I don't remember how long I've been here. How much time has passed since Mayuri's death? I didn't go to the vigil or to the funeral. How could I, when I'm the one who killed her? I don't want to see anything, or anyone. Even breathing is hard now. Yet, I've no choice but to face this emptiness, this heart-rending guilt, and accept what I've done. That is my duty now. Someone pulls the curtain open. Light shines in from the lounge. Girl is standing there, silhouetted against the light. As soon as I realize who it is, I turn away and prepare to block out the noise.
岡部、もう3日もそうやってるけど、せめて何か食べたら。あんた、知ってたんでしょ？まゆりが、あの日、死ぬこと。どうしてタイムリープしないの？あんたなら、まゆりを助けるためにタイムリープマシンを使うこともためらわない。私はそう予測してた。そもそも漆原さんの性別を男にして IBN5100 を取り戻すっていう計画はどうなったの？あんたはまゆりを助けるためにその計画を実行に移してた。なのになんで？いや、それとももしかしてあんたはすでに IBN5100 を取り戻して別の世界線へと移動した後とか？ここに残されているのは岡部倫太郎の残滓、あまり、そして世界はパラレルワールドとしてここではまゆりが助からなかった未来が継続する。
IBN5100 は取り戻さなかった。
My voice is hoarse, perhaps because I haven't spoken in 3 days.
どういうこと？
ルカ子を男に戻すことは俺にはできなかった。だから運命を受け入れた。
No, that makes it sound like I wasn't responsible.
まゆりを見殺しにした。
I hear Chrissy gasp. Why did I confess? Not something I should confess so easily. It's like admitting to murder. It should have been a secret between Lukako and me. And yet, do I want to be blamed? Does that make me feel better? It hurts to live with this bottled up guilt. At this point, I'd welcome condemnation. Chrissy isn't one to mince words. I'm sure she'll tell me exactly what a worthless human being I am. However,
ご飯食べる？
Chrissy betrays my expectations.
カップ麺でよければ作るけど、それとも何か買ってくる？
責めろよ。まゆりを殺した俺に怒れよ。
怒りたい気持ちはあるけど、やめとく。私がとやかく言う必要はないみたいだから。過去に戻って因果率をねじ曲げようとすることこそおこがましい行為なのかもしれないし。というより怒れるわけないよ。あんたは因果の輪から外れて存在として孤立してまでずっと一人で頑張ってきた。だからあんたの苦しみは誰にもわからないし、あんたの選択の意味は誰からも理解されない。そんなあんたを一度もタイムリープしてない私が責められるわけない。
なんでそんなに物分かりがいいんだ。
Clutch my knees.
物分かりがいいわけじゃない。あんたがタイムリープでまゆりを助けようと決めたその時に誰からも分かってもらえないと覚悟したはず。だったらそれを甘んじて受けなさい。そうすればあんたは自分がしたことの意味について忘れることはないから。
So in other words, she's telling me to suffer on my own. No. that's not it at all. What a cruel woman.
ただあんたが取った選択によって助けたもう一人の子について責任を取るべきよ。まゆりは死んだわ。残念だけど、残念っていう言葉だけじゃ足りないぐらい悲しいけど、とにかくまゆりはもういない。世界の収束、世界の意志には逆らえなかった。でもあの子は今も生きてる。あんたのおかげで女の子として生きてる。そしてあんたと同じように孤立して苦しんでると思う。あの子の苦しみを理解してあげられるのは共犯者である岡部だけでしょ。
共犯者。
I knew you would pull no punches, Makise Kurisu. Lukako's image floats through my mind. She used to be a guy, but now she's a girl, and she'll live as a girl from now on. I am the one who chose that future for Lukako. When I imagine her frail smile, I feel like spring has come to thaw the frozen soil of my heart. I can't bear to lose Lukako too. In that case, I know what I must do.
ありがとうクリス。お前と話せてよかった。
As I enter the courtyard, I can almost feel the heat slowly drain away. Beside the main building stands a large tree. Its branches coated with vibrant leaves sway in the gentle breeze. The shrine is cooler than the streets of Akihabara proper, maybe because Konda River is so close. As usual, the shrine is empty. I find myself standing before the offering box, gazing into the inner sanctum. I wonder if Lukako's home. Her family should be here too. How should I call for her? Just then, the wind suddenly lets up, and the sound of rustling trees stops for a bit. In the silence, I hear someone sobbing. It sounds like it's coming from behind the main building. I slowly head towards the sound. Lukako is there, sitting on the grass, hugging her knees as she cries. Samidare is in her hands. Also, that's clearly not grass, just saying.
ルカコ。
岡部さん。
Lukako looks at me with wet eyes, but immediately afterwards she buries her face into her knees. Then her shoulders start shaking once more.
昨日まゆりちゃんの告別式に行ってきました。みんな泣いてました。まゆりちゃんって本当にたくさんの人から愛されてたんだなって。もちろん僕もまゆりちゃんのこと大好きでした。僕かなり人見知りする性格だけど、まゆりちゃんは変わらずに明るく接してくれて、僕にとって一番大好きな友達だったんです。
I lost the words I was about to say. All I can do is sit silently next to Lukako.
なのにねえ岡部さん、僕たちどうして生きてるんでしょう。まゆりちゃんは死んじゃったのに、僕はこうして今も女の子のまま。
Now that she remembers being a guy, Lukako is beginning to have gender identity issues. I have no idea how that feels. Just as Chrissy said, Lukako is disconnected from causality too.
僕がこうして何 何も変わらずここにいるのってとてもいけないことのような気がするんです。
そんなことはない。
Try to cheer her up with those meaningless words, but Lukako shakes her head in denial. I'm just realizing she's holding a sword and thinking about not being alive, and I don't like where this is going. So by telling people about the other world lines, they become disconnected from time begin to remember. It doesn't necessarily have to be you telling them. With Ferris, it was just going back to the location where Nyan Queen Squared would have been, and talking about that building brought back those memories. And Lukako seemed to remember it even before we talked to her in this case. So I guess it's just something that can trigger it, but they're not exactly clear what it is. But once that's triggered, you have those kind of like dual memories in your head, and that's what makes them feel so disconnected.
Okabe-san, なんとかまゆりちゃんを助ける方法
Hello.
ありませんか?
Just dropping by for some fiancé kisses. There you go.
無理だ。
そんな。
Still crying, Lukako stands and pleads with me.
考えましょうよ。僕、まゆりちゃんが助かるためなら何だってします。まゆりちゃんから前に聞いたことがあります。岡部さんは時間を遡る装置を作ったって。
Is she talking about the time leap machine?
それを使えば
無理なんだ。
時間を遡れば何か方法が。
方法はない。
I make that firm declaration with head hung and clenched fists.
残酷なことかもしれないが、俺たちはまゆりの死を受け入れて、それでも生きていくしかないんだよ。
諦めちゃダメですよ。どうして諦められるんですか。まゆりちゃんが亡くなって悲しくないんですか。
とにかく方法はないんだ。
嫌です。僕はまゆりちゃんに死んでほしくない。
ルカコ。
I grab her shoulders and look straight into her eyes.
俺がそう簡単に諦めたと思うか。
岡部さん、
あいつは俺にとっても大事な幼馴染だったんだ。諦められるわけがないだろう。考えたさ。死ぬほど考えて、もがいてもがいて、どんな手を使ってでも助けようとしたさ。時間だって一体何度遡ったと思ってるんだ。だが無理だった。世界はあいつの死を望んだ。俺がどれだけそれを回避しようとしても、そんな俺を嘲笑うかのように世界はまゆりを奪っていった。まゆりを助けるために他の人間の思いだって犠牲にした。
We've also technically murdered at least one other person.
はやってきた。だがそれも限界だ。もう無理なんだ。
No, there is something I can do. There are still things I can do to save Mayuri, but I chose none of them. Theoretically, it's not impossible, but it is impossible for me.
ごめんなさい。 僕、岡部さんの気持ちちっとも考えてませんでした。だけど無理なはずないですよ。もう一つだけ方法が残ってるじゃないですか。僕が男に戻れば。
それはダメだ。
There's no meaning to our choice if we do that. I chose Lukako over Mayuri. Ultimately, that's all there is to it.
お願いします、岡部さん。僕、まゆりちゃんを犠牲にしてまで女でいたくないです。まゆりちゃんを助けてあげて。
俺はお前を男には戻さない。
どうしてですか？
俺がそれを選んだんだ。もうこれ以上俺のエゴのために誰かを傷つけることはできない。それに元の世界線に戻ったところでマイリの死を回避できるかどうかは絶対じゃないんだ。俺はその低い確率のために誰かの思いを、お前の思いを犠牲にはできない。だからもういいんだ。
岡部さん、でもこんなの許されないです。僕は僕という存在に耐えられないんです。僕が女の子であるということがまゆりちゃんの死の上に成り立ってるなんてこと、これから一生受け止めて生きていくなんてこと、そのことが重すぎて押しつぶされちゃいそうなんです。ねえ、どうしてあの時18年前のお母さんのポケベルにメールを送ってくれなかったんですか？どうしてまゆりちゃんじゃなくて僕なんかを選んでくれたんですか？
お前は何も負い目を感じることはない。すべては俺の選択だ。
I just have to take a second to say, Lukako's voice actor is amazing with how they put that sadness into their voice.
マユリを殺したのは俺なんだ。だから罪は俺がすべて被る。
I am the one with the power of a god. I am the one who chose Mayuri's fate. Therefore, I am the one who must bear the responsibility.
それにお前にも幸せになってほしいって思っている。
幸せになんてなれるはずないじゃないですか。まゆりちゃんが死んだのは僕のせいでもあるのに。
お前のせいじゃない。何度も言わせないでくれ。今は悲しいかもしれないが、お前にはマユリの分まで前を見て生きていってほしいんだ。
そんなの嫌です。
Lukako clings to my chest. She stares into my eyes without wiping away her tears.
僕はそれなら岡部さんと一緒に背負いたいです。
一緒に背負う？何をバカな。俺は因果の輪から外れた人間だし、マユリを見殺しにする選択をした人間で。
それなら僕だって因果の輪からは
Suspicious.
外れます。
Thank you for 22 suspicious tears, Mim.
僕の記憶の中に男だった時の思い出が蘇ってきている時点でもう外れかけているんですよ。まゆりちゃんの命と引き換えに僕が女として生きているんだっていうことも知っちゃっているわけですし、僕たち共犯者なんですよ。
Chrissy said the same thing. We're accomplices, Lukako and I.
この悲しみもこの負い目も二人で忘れずに抱いていきたいです。
We're disconnected from causality. Nobody can understand us. That's why.
ああ、わかったよ。
I embrace Lukako strongly.
一緒に背負ってくれ。一緒にこの思いを忘れずに生きていこう。
ずっとそばにいてもいいですか？僕岡部さんのこと好きだから。まゆりちゃんへの裏切りかもしれないけど、ずっと一緒にいたいんです。
もちろんだ。
We both bear the same burden. We'll accept Mayuri's death, yet still live on, shoulder to shoulder. Afterwards, we pass the time sitting in silence until the sky turns the color of dusk. Lukako rests her head on my shoulder. I embrace her and feel her breathing next to me. We gaze silently at the sky. In our hearts, we pray for Mayuri's happiness in the afterlife. I'm sorry, Mayuri. Sorry.
ねえ、岡部さん。
Lukako raises her head and breaks the silence. I can see firm resolve in her expression.
僕、まゆりちゃんにどうしても一つだけやり残したことがあるんです。そのせいでまゆりちゃんに悲しい思いをさせちゃいました。
やり残したこと？
コスプレです。
Oh, that. These last few weeks, Mayuri was constantly asking Lukako to wear the costume she made for her, but Lukako was too embarrassed to try. I remember Mayuri on the day she died.
ルカちゃんがキラリちゃんのコスプレしたらね、絶対似合うと思うんだ。ルカちゃんってね、マユシーがドキドキしちゃうぐらい可愛いもん。ルカちゃんって普段おとなしいでしょ。あんまり自分の意見も言おうとしないし、コスプレするとね、普段の自分とは別の自分になれるんだよ。だからね、最初は恥ずかしいかもしれないけど、ルカちゃんも一度やればきっと新しいルカちゃんを見つけられると思うんだ。そしたらね、今より積極的な性格になってね、もしかするとオカリンをお尻に敷いちゃうかもしれないよ。
We didn't need to bring back the domination conversation. Yeah, I actually missed this part, so this flashback is good. There we go. We've had a couple okay flashbacks now. And that flashback was like perfect length. I find sometimes they flashback and they talk for like 5 minutes when really they just want like 2 or 3 lines, but they add all the context ahead of it. Even on that day, Mayuri only talked about Lukako. Even though I stood her up on my promise to bring Lukako to Kamima and made her lonely, Mayuri wanted Lukako to cosplay from the bottom of her heart.
時間を遡る装置を使ってあの日に戻れませんか？
戻るって、お前が？
Lukako nods firmly.
本気なのか？
Nobody's used the time leap machine, except me. It's never failed so far, but if something does happen, it might not be reversible. Certain test subjects turn to Jellyman, and like that could happen to her, or she could lose her memory like Suzuha did.
危険すぎる。あれは俺以外には使わせられない。
お願いします。せめて最後にまゆりちゃんに笑顔でいてもらいたいんです。僕まゆりちゃんに何もしてあげられなかったから。
だがお前はああいう場所に来るオタクのことが苦手だったはずだ。
確かにちょっと怖いです。でもそんなこと言ってられないです。それに僕は岡部さんと本当に同じになりたい。その装置を使えば因果の輪から完全に外れてしまうんですよね。それで岡部さんと同じ気持ちを背負えます。だから
Her innocent feelings warm my heart. Lukako truly cares for me and Mayuri. In the end, I have to grant her wish. When we get back to the lab, no one is there. Just a few days ago, Mayuri, Krisu, Daru, and I were laughing here together. With Mayuri gone, nothing seems to remain from those days but dreams. The lab feels truly empty. But I hide those feelings and lead Lukako to the development room. Luckily, the 42-inch CRT is turned on downstairs, so I can start the time leap when ready.
飛び先はいつに？
あの日の朝に前日に飛んだりするときっと僕は現実を受け止めることができなくて動揺しちゃうと思うんです。だから
So she's choosing the morning of that fateful day so she can cosplay with a smile. But to jump to that day would take at least 3 consecutive leaps. Will she be able to get all the way to the 15th? But despite my worries, Lukako remains undaunted.
無事に飛んだら俺に連絡を取るんだ。そうしたらきっと俺はお前をまゆりのところに連れて行ってやる。
はい。
Cover Lukako's head with the time leap machine's headgear. Her body is clearly shaking. That's understandable, I guess. Even I'm starting to get tense. My heart feels like it's about to explode. This is the first time leap machine experiment with a subject other than me. I can't stop thinking about the worst case scenario.
心配するな。脳が少し痛むぐらいだがすぐ収まる。
はい。
向こうについても決して取り乱すなよ。落ち着いて状況を理解するんだ。大丈夫。俺がついている。
I gently caress Lukako's cheek. She responds with a small sigh of relief.
じゃあ行きます。
I nod and hide the shaking of my fingertips as I set the microwave timer.
きっと戻ってきますから。
ああ、待っているぞ。
I smile to Lukako. Immediately afterwards, the discharge fills the room. As Lukako's body begins to shine. I open my eyes wide in wonder as Lukako's body begins to shine. The building shakes violently. The smell of ozone fills the air. The light is blinding. I can hardly keep my eyes open.
岡部さん。
Lukako's cries suddenly cut short. A shock ripples through my body, like it always does right after time leaping.
ここは
This time, I wasn't the one who leaped. Nevertheless, I teleported from the lab to Yanabayashi Shrine. Did the world line change? No, reading Steiner didn't activate, so I don't think it did. Then why? Was it because of Lukako's changes to the past? I look to the side, and there I see Lukako. She gets up and smiles once she notices my gaze.
写真見ますか？
写真
What's this about
行っ
pictures?
てきたんですよ。僕、覚えてないんですか、岡部さん。急に様子が変わりましたけど。
お前が過去へ飛んで、その直後に俺はここに立っている。コミマには行ってきたのか？
Lukako once again bursts into tears. Then she slowly nods. Takes out a few pictures and hands them to me.
バイオリちゃん、とても嬉しそうでした。
I look at the first picture handed to me. I gasp in surprise when I see what's on it.
俺もお前もはしゃぎすぎだよな。
I realize that I'm crying. In the picture, Mayuri is smiling. And we're smiling with her. Well, that was the Lukako ending. So, there's no more bad endings. Actually, I'm gonna skip... Can I skip credits? No, I can't skip credits. I'm just gonna mute that audio. And mute it for myself too. There we go. So, yeah, so that is the last bad ending. After this, we have the normal ending. And then after that, I'll have caught up my secondary save file to the point where we can do the true ending and the other non-true ending. You missed the final lines due to another crash. So basically, the ending was Lukako uses the time leap machine, goes back in time, convinces Okabe to go with her and Mayuri to Kamima, and then we teleport to the shrine and to the current time when we had just sent her to time leap, and she shows us pictures of the three of us with Mayuri smiling. And the final lines are basically like, at least she was happy at the end. Oh. I hope there's not any audio for that. No, there's not audio, but apparently we now have a child. So yeah, that was the last bad ending. We have 3 endings remaining. So next Saturday, I'll have to see. I might actually have something next Saturday. Like a online Christmas party with some friends. I need to confirm the time with that, because I think it's next Saturday, but I don't remember there being a time associated with it. So I do need to check on that. I will post in the Discord and update stream title and all that kind of stuff if for some reason I'm not available. Let's go to the ending screen.